Well, hi friends, this is Amanda. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Oakland County, Michigan. I'm an A7 size girl in an A2 size world, and I make 5x7 cards. Today we're going to play with the online exclusive brand new Changing Leaves. If you're a demonstrator, you can purchase this now. If you're a customer, you have to wait until July. I think the beginning of July, so you don't have too much longer. Beautiful, beautiful set. Has a hybrid embossing folder, so that means that it cuts and dies at the same time. Plus, it has these really great secondary dies. I love it. It's, they're great. And I just wanted to check to see if this little circle that does have some piercing or dots, I always think that is stitching, we could use on this card, but I end up opting against it. Look at this beautiful leaf that comes out. So you can use the embossing folder as just an embossing folder, or you can cut and emboss with this. When I first got this set, I thought I would do a really simple tone-on-tone Lost Lagoon with Pretty Peacock, card. Simple, easy thank you card or birthday card, which you can do, which is, I might still do. Who knows? Maybe. But the more I was looking at the stamp set, I thought, that is so elegant. Look at the different leaves in here. I really like that one that has a lot of surface area. The one that we're using is the larger leaf that has some circles in it, and then I like that maple leaf or whatever it's called that has those, veins in it or whatever. It's a really great set, and I really like it. I'll tell you what the sentiments are, but I also found this comforting thoughts in my stash as well. This is new, I believe. And let me just tell you the sentiments that are on this. They're really nice. I'm here for you. Cancer sucks. We're here for you. I'm so sorry. You can do this. You're not alone. Healing, peace, rest. I wish I could make this better. Wishing you comfort. Hope this is a feeling better kind of day. Thinking of you, praying for you, hoping with you, which we'll use. I don't have all the right words to say. I do have lots of loves to give. There is no good card for this. Great set. Oh my goodness. Wonderful set. Covers anything and everything. Illness, cancer, pain or feeling blue, and of course sympathy. So lots of great things. I'm going to use this large leaf, like I said, and I'm going to use the Wishing You Comfort. They're both photopolymer from two different sets. So I am going to stamp this using my Mini Misty at the same time. I have a waffle flower mat. They keep changing the name, so I can't remember. There is a 2.0 mat for this waffle flower mat. It's a little bit stickier, I guess. But this is a really great mat from Waffle Flower. It is a full sheet of photopolymer, and it is so perfect in your Misty. I love it. No waste, you don't have to keep buying things, and you can always just re-stick it with a little, just wash it, get it wet, and just how you clean your photopolymer stamp sets. And you don't have to buy a ton of them. There's no sticky, you know what it is. It's great. I love it. They do say that this is a consumable, so you will have to replace it eventually. So, but I've had mine for months now, and it hasn't, I love it. So I use an anti-static powder tool, and this is on Very Vanilla, I believe, a 3 3/4 by 6. And I stamped up both of my stamps using Versamark ink. And then I picked it up just by the edge and am very careful where I put my fingers, because of course my fingers has oil on it, and I don't want any of that powder to stick anywhere. And I like all of the little pieces off. I don't want extra little embossing all around my image. So I really take some time with the paintbrush, and I get off all of the image, all of the little extra pieces. So again, we're going to do that again with Basic Beige, because we're going to make two cards here today. Basic Beige and Very Vanilla. I'm just going to I use a lot of powder. I like to use my anti-static powder tool a lot. So use that powder. Make sure that there's a little bit of powder on my paper, not just, just rub it over. I actually like to see a little powder on there. And then I, of course, flip over my arm and emboss it. I am very careful with my photopolymer sentiments because you know how sometimes when you push really hard on your photopolymer and it makes a little bit line thicker or a little letter thicker than the other letters. I like my red rubber. I like red rubber sentiments so much better because I know I'm going to get a nice crisp sentiment. So I was being very, very careful not to get my sentiment too thick. So I was a little bit too careful. So if I were to do this again, I would do it like I did it off screen. I would stamp, heat, emboss my leaf, and then stamp and heat emboss my sentiment. I know it's, it gives it a little bit more warp, but you have to use the adhesive anyways. And that way you can make sure that, you put the right pressure on everything. So again, just pouring all of my powder over it. It all goes back in the pot, so you don't have to be stingy with that. Doing my little finger dances and taking some time to get off all of the extra residue so I have a nice crisp image, and then I'll put it back in the pot. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a little bit today. Sorry about that, but this weekend is Father's Day, and just because you don't have a father anymore or you don't celebrate your father anymore doesn't mean that you don't have fathers in your life. You have cousins and nephews and sons and grandsons and next door neighbors and friends. We need to celebrate our fathers. Fathers are extremely important. And I think sometimes we forget how important fathers are in our world, good fathers. And we need to appreciate them and tell them how much we appreciate them, encourage them, and show them some love. So I challenge you to make some cards this weekend, or send some cards out as soon as possible, and get every father that you know a card telling them what a great job they're doing, encouraging them, and just, telling them that how important they are. All right, so I'm just going to heat emboss this. I will bring my warm, hot heat tool to my embossing powder. You can under emboss embossing powder, and you can over emboss it. So of course you can really under emboss it where there's some powder left. But if there's some dimples, lots of dimples, that means you've under or over embossed it. And if you've over embossed it, that means you've burnt off all of it and it is flat. It's no longer raised. But you can also under emboss it, and so there's a sweet spot. So just practice that. Get used to embossing. You'll know the perfect time. Once you realize that perfect time, you'll know it. So I always angle my paper in the light to make sure that I have every little tiny bit of embossing powder embossed perfectly. So I always take that extra step. I used to just be in a rush and not take that step, and half the time I'd put my finger in powder, and then my whole card is ruined, so I had to start over anyway. So always take that extra step to make sure that your embossing powder is completely heated and it looks puffy and beautiful. That's the great point of embossing powder. I'm taking a 1/4 inch by 6 inch piece of the brushed metallics, and I'm just getting that straight. I've made 3 cards like this, and I would put down the larger piece first, but I'd make sure that it's straight. You know what I mean? Because I didn't make sure it was straight, and so my second piece wasn't straight, and then it was really unstraight. So you're just trying to put these 2 pieces together in the middle. No big deal. With when you're embossing, you need to use adhesive all around all of your edges. I didn't here. Here's a little pucker. Have to add a little bit of glue. This is Nuvo glue that comes with the My Sweet Petunia glue press. I like it. I'm not a Tombow person. So anyways, use that adhesive all the way around. I like a tape runner sometimes for some instances, and a wet adhesive in others. I normally do not use wet adhesive on my main panel. Just normally don't, unless it's right there and I just don't pick up. But I normally use both tape and glue, because you we have them, we might as well use them. There's best practices. There's a best way to use them each time. So as you can see, I'm going all over and making sure all of my edges are really tacked down. Not that I'm worried about it flying away or, you know, coming off. It's because I want the warped piece of paper to look really straight. I'm going to take my embossing. Oh, what is this called? That's not embossing. My eraser, my adhesive eraser here, and just take off some extra adhesive. So the one on the left is basic beige on basic beige, and the one on the right is very vanilla on very vanilla. There is a difference. The basic beige is a little bit thicker, and you can tell it's a little bit duller. I prefer the very vanilla, but I actually like the two-tone the best. What do you think? I think I like the two-tone the best. I think this is a very elegant card. I love it for sympathy. I love it for an elegant birthday. I'm saying here that I think I'd like one more panel that is 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base. So 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. But I still like that thick border around, you know, I like that thick 1/2 an inch border all the way around my main subject. Does that make sense? My main image. I really like that thick border, especially for sympathy cards. I like that more simplistic, elegant, not too flashy, not a lot of embellishments for my sympathy cards. I don't like lots of colors, so this is a perfect sympathy card as far as I'm concerned. But jazz it up with a little, with some embellishments, and we have 2 different gold embellishments plus the rhinestones that we can use. And yeah, it'll be a perfect birthday card for maybe someone that you don't know so well, or someone that you wouldn't joke around with, maybe someone that is older, I don't know, or younger, just someone that is a little bit, maybe that you don't know so well, that, you couldn't joke around with. I don't know. I think more sophisticated cards are better for certain people. I am going to take this Comforting Thoughts stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this without my mat, so it doesn't work so well, with black. And that's a bad choice. It's just a bad choice. Black doesn't have there's no reason to put a black on here. I thought about a different color, but really what I should do is I should make another panel. I could do that at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, or I could do the 4 by 6, either one. And I should stamp and emboss this sentiment as well. I think it just calls for it. This is a monochromatic card, all gold, with a very neutral background. I just think it needs it. All right, friends, have an amazing day. I hope that you have a great Father's Day and you celebrate those fathers. I would love it if you subscribed, if you're not already subscribed. Thanks again. Like I said, this Changing Leaves will be available in July for our customers. And if you're a demonstrator, it will be available now. Thanks so much, friends. Have an amazing day.